about the game that I think shocked many of us? Georgia coming back. Number one, Georgia coming back to beat unranked Auburn 27-20, and the game was very much in the balance the whole way. It's funny. After we get done doing our live tailgate here on the Fox lot, go into the conference room to watch the games, and that game with Georgia and Auburn keeps getting my attention, keeps getting our attention. And I'm looking at this going, is Carson Beck the guy? Is Georgia good? Is Georgia dominant? What is it about this team that refuses to go out and say we're the number one team in the country? And then Brock Bowers was doing much of nothing. And apparently he heard me in the conference room because he said, hey, RJ, hold this right quick. I'm going to go for 8 catches, 157, and the game-winning TD. How you like me now? Hey, man, look, first it's a win that Taylor Swift is dating a tight end. And then I was like, so he was the only one winning because you're gonna let this go against Auburn. That's what's gonna happen. Now, RJ, I'm gonna make these one-handed catch, and then I'll make this other one-handed catch with each hand because I'm the best tight end in all of football. And frankly, they needed him to be. And that's what's worrisome. Peyton Thorne had an opportunity to drive Auburn down the field to not just tie the game, but to win it, right? Because you go for 2 if you're the team that's weaker. And Auburn is the team that's weaker. Don't let Georgia get an opportunity to get this game into overtime. Throws a pick to that man, Malachi Starks, dude I've been yelling about for 2 years because he is that good, and the game is over. But that was the only time where I thought, okay, the Georgia defense knows what they're looking at. You're getting run on by Robbie Ashford. You're getting dealt on by Peyton Thorne. This is a team that was getting absolutely embarrassed by A&M at times, right? We don't know what Auburn is, and we haven't. But shout out to my guys at College Football Nerds. Their model had predicted a 3-point favorite for Auburn. And they saw some things in the run game. They saw some things in Carson Beck that led them to believe that this team was capable of beating the number one team in the country. Also, wild fact, Auburn was 4-0 against number one teams at Jordan-Hare until today, right? So it's basically the number one teams being Alabama and/or LSU somewhere in there. And now we're talking about Georgia getting out there with the skin of his teeth. But this is the 3rd week in a row where we've been like, is Georgia good? And can we expect this team to play in the national title game? Can we expect this team to play in the SEC championship? Because we don't know what Tennessee is. Florida, we got questions about them we'll talk about, but I'm just not sure that the SEC is all it's cracked up to be in 2023. Yes, I did write that down, and I do got them bars like that. But if you're Auburn, you feel like you let one get away. You also feel like, okay, if we can do this against Georgia, why can't we do this in the rest of the SEC West? That's what Auburn fans have to be thinking. And you know what? Given what LSU Ole Miss does later this afternoon, we'll talk about it on Sunday, given what Texas A&M is, given that Alabama isn't the team that we've expected them to be for the last 4 years, yeah, Auburn, maybe you can find something, pull out a couple of wins, somebody take some key losses, and you get another opportunity to play Georgia in the SEC championship. Very excited to see what happens with that team and, frankly, what happens with Georgia, because I just watched number 2 Michigan throttle Nebraska 45-7.